Hi everyone, my name is Angela, and today I'll be delivering my speech on why college athletes should not be paid. Throughout the years, big-name college athletes have been trying to get six-digit numbers in their bank account before making it to the professionals. What they don't understand is that college is not a place of work, and that it is meant to further education for a future career. Student athletes are amateurs who choose to voluntarily participate in intercollegiate athletics as a part of their education experience, thus they should not be entitled to a paycheck based on their performance. One of the reasons why college athletes shouldn't be paid is because money would separate the athletes from the student body. Some, if not all, college athletes are already on a scholarship, so I don't understand why the school should be obligated to pay them additionally like professionals. Having to be a college athlete, it is understandable that they don't have the time to get a full-time job or even a part-time with practices, meetings, games, other sporting events. However, an average college student comes from a middle class and has to pay their way through college on top of being a full-time student. In addition, some athletes are on a full-ride scholarship, but many of them don't even stay for the full 4 years until they transfer to a different university, or they stop playing the sport due to an injury, or some of them even drop out of college. Ultimately, they are taking up a spot for free, while another classmate could have taken that spot. So for example, Allen Iverson, also pictured on the PowerPoint. He's an American former professional basketball player for the Philadelphia 76ers. He was granted a full ride to one of the most prestigious universities in the nation, which was Georgetown University. He pursued his high school diploma at Richard Melbourne High, an alternative school for troubled students. He didn't meet the NCAA standards, which was a 2.0 GPA in 11 core classes and a minimum SAT score of 700 or 17 on the ACT. Shortly after a year at Georgetown, he was convicted to 3 different felony charges. Athletes like Iverson didn't really deserve the education opportunity more enough than students who had the perfect grades but didn't have the $70,000 to attend their dream school. Therefore, I think it is very unfair if they got paid additionally on top of attending a university with a full-ride scholarship. Secondly, only a few sports tend to bring in money. Often, it is the big programs, such as football and men's basketball, and sometimes men's soccer, that bring in the most revenue. Because football and basketball are the two sports that most people think of when it comes to athletes being paid, what justice does sports like tennis, golf, baseball, volleyball, what do they have? They work just as hard as football and basketball player, but just because they do not generate as much money, they have to be treated differently than the people that work out in the same facilities as they do. Which brings to another factor as to why they shouldn't be paid. There is also no fair way to pay each one of them. Aside from the issue of paying the athletes of every sport, there is an issue of everyone being paid. For instance, should the elite players get paid more, or should the whole team get paid equally? Furthermore, paying these individuals would affect their values, their characters, and it would affect the way that they would act if they were to play professionally. College is supposed to teach you about life and disciplines. It would be hard to be disciplined when you're getting paid a lot of money. It would just increase greed and arrogance. Participating in intercollegiate sport is a privilege, and when an individual agrees to a full ride at a university, typically for football and basketball players, you already know you're good enough as you'll get noticed. In addition to building your resume by participating in these sports throughout your college career, your game basically becomes your resume. In the early 2000s, Joey Harrington was a quarterback for the Oregon Ducks. During his podcast interview with Yahoo Sports, he mentioned that when we were playing college football, all we wanted was to get on the depth chart high enough to see our number in the video game. Harrington states that it wasn't about getting a check for $173 in a class action suit. Throughout the interview, he was baffled by the fact that some people think these 18, 19-year-old kids should come in and be offered $250,000. Colleges and universities are giving these athletes a chance to build connections, to open doors, and to get started on a path for their future. So being recognized for their game is the most they can get. Economic issues aside, college athletes should be about playing the game you love while you get an education. If you start paying college athletes, you ruin the purity of college sports. People watch college sports because it's a tradition that college kids play college sports, and it's for entertainment purposes, not monetary. NCAA President Mark Emmert states that traditions and keeping them with are very important to universities. These individuals are not professionals. They are representing their universities as a part of a university community. Even the NCAA president wants the sports to remain amateur, and if the rules were changed to permit student athletes to be paid for, it would change what college sports is all about. Ultimately, there are too many questions that need to be answered and too many issues that would arise from college athletes getting paid. College athletes have a ton of privileges and opportunities such as scholarships, having a chance of pursuing a career if going pros doesn't work out, and there's just not a fair way and the money to pay every single one of them. Everyone who are hidden supporters of college athletes being paid should consider the economic, the moral, the traditional factors that are involved, mainly because nothing matters more than the fact that they are playing these sports voluntarily and because they choose to play. Thank you.